I'm going to show you step by step how you can generate a filled in VPAT using AI. So we are inside of the Accessibility Tracker platform. We are looking at the projects page. I'm going to select new project. For the project title, I will enter in company accessibility project. For the description, I will write audit plus remediation plus ACR. The platform type I will leave as a web application. And then for the URL, I'll enter accessible.org. So now I will create the project. And so it's going to show up on our projects page at the very bottom. That will be the latest project. I'm going to view the details for this project. And here we can see that there are no issues found. The reason there are no issues found is because we haven't uploaded our accessibility audit report yet. So what separates Accessibility Tracker from virtually every other platform on the marketplace is Accessibility Tracker is audit based. The other platforms are scan based. The reason why this is so important is because our objective isn't to work towards 100% score on a scan. Our objective is full WCAG conformance, and the only way to get there is to use an accessibility audit report. So again, that's why Accessibility Tracker is audit-based. Scans only reliably flag 13% of WCAG 2.2 AA issues. So it's so important that we're not working towards a skewed outlook of our accessibility project. Because we're using an audit report, we're going to be able to track full WCAG conformance. So you can't see it now, but I've just selected to upload our audit report. A new window came up. I selected the file. And now we've got a data preview showing that the columns in the Excel spreadsheet have successfully mapped inside of Accessibility Tracker. And you don't have to use an accessible.org audit report for this to work. If you're using another audit report, you just have to make sure that you map the columns successfully. All right, so we have this data and we can see that the mapping has correctly taken place. So I'm going to process the data. And so here we can see that 123 issues were successfully processed. Now I'm going to save the issues to the project. And so we're extracting all of the valuable data from the audit report. We can see here that the project is updating and now the issues have been uploaded successfully. Okay, so now we can see all of the issues have uploaded. Here, if I scroll down, what you really see is a simplified, transposed audit report available to you inside of the Accessibility Tracker dashboard. And before we look at this, I'm going to tab over and I'm going to show you a screenshot from a sample accessible.org audit report so that you can see all of the details that are being brought forward. So in this audit report, we have several columns. There's one for issue number, page title, page URL, environment, the WCAG success criterion, the issue title, the issue description, applicable code, users affected, recommendation. There are a few more columns, including a screenshot or screen recording column. The point here is that we have so much valuable data that has been assembled and compiled by the technical accessibility expert who conducted the audit report. And so we want to bring forward all of this data. And now we have so many ways that AI can help us work through this data, work more efficiently, and help us get our projects get completed faster. So I'm going to zoom in here just to show you the level of detail, just looking at the applicable code. So we see the code for a given issue and issue description. This is all extremely valuable data. It's very detailed. And this is what you're looking for with an accessibility audit report. But let's now go back to Accessibility Tracker. And so we can see here we have the simplified version of the audit report. And so we've got the broad view. I'm going to actually view the issue. So when we look at the individual issue, we can see all of this granular detail being brought forward inside of Accessibility Tracker. But that's not what I'm going to show you right now. What we're going to do is go back to this broad view, and I want you to focus in on the issue status. So here we can change the status of different issues. So when our team has made the fix, we can mark the issue as completed. So I'll do this for a few issues. But what's so important is that we have someone who is independent from the team making the fixes. We have someone independent go and validate that the issue has indeed been resolved. And so that is where we can update the issue status to validated. And once we do that, that issue is no longer going to reflect in the VPAT that we generate. So I'll go ahead and mark a few issues as validated. And there are other labels that we can add. So we can write in, or we can have the status of in progress, on hold, etc. But we're really concerned with validation because once we get to the point where the issue is validated, it's no longer going to show, and we're that much closer to full WCAG conformance. And we can track this all inside of Accessibility Tracker, but I'm going to stay just on the topic at hand, which is generating a VPAT using AI. And so now we've done that. We've updated the status. So that is now updated inside of Accessibility Tracker. So what I'm going to do now is go back to projects. If I go back to projects, we'll go ahead and go to our project. We will view the details. And we can see now that there are accessibility analytics reflecting because we've uploaded the audit report. But what we also have is this tab marked VPAT. So I'm going to select that. We can see that there is no VPAT currently inside of the dashboard, but we'll change that right now and we will generate a new VPAT. Okay, and on this next screen, we're being prompted to enter in the information for the details section of the VPAT. What's so important is that all of these are prompts that are on the official VPAT that is provided by the Information Technology Industry Council. So we're going to go ahead and answer these prompts. Let's see, we've got the company name. I'll put it as Super Company. We've got the product name. I'm going to enter the product name as Super App. The product version, I'll put 1.2. Product description, app that optimizes daily life. The contact information, I'll enter John Smith and then john@company.com. And then for the notes section, I'm not going to add anything, but we could. So we can add a note or we can paste notes in if we'd like. I'm going to go ahead and leave this blank. For the scope, what is very nice is you can see that the scope has been extracted from the accessibility audit report, but we're not limited to that. We can delete the scope as is. We can add pages or screens if we'd like. We can add in, we can copy and paste in a separate box. I'm going to go ahead and leave the scope as what was extracted. And then we can also add a legal disclaimer. And the reason we have this is because it's in the official VPAT. So a legal disclaimer is available. If you'd like to enter that here, you can. And then scrolling down, we can select the WCAG standard. So I'm going to go ahead and select WCAG 2.1 AA. And then we have checkboxes for various different evaluation methodologies. So I'm going to select screen reader testing with JAWS, screen reader testing with VoiceOver, and then I'll have visual inspection, code inspection, and keyboard testing. Leave it at that. You can also add a custom method. And now I'm going to generate the VPAT. So what comes up is a page that is letting us know that we are making progress on VPAT generation. It's analyzing all of the issues, and importantly, it's analyzing the status of our issues. So we can generate a VPAT at any time based on the status of our progress. And so that's very nice because if you want a VPAT or generated right away, you can do that even with minimal progress, or let's say you've made significant progress and you are 70% the way through the project, you can go ahead and stop there. At any time, you can generate a VPAT. And so we see it's been generated successfully. So let's go ahead and view the VPAT. So what comes up next is a draft. And what's so important is the manual review because we need to ensure accuracy and completeness. And so it's important to also remember that AI can make errors and omissions. So a technical accessibility expert needs to go through this and make sure that the report is both accurate and complete. And so if we scroll down, what we see is the initial draft for the filled in VPAT. So we've got the details entered, we've got the evaluation methods used, we've got the notes. Remember, I left the notes empty, but then underneath notes, we also have the scope that is so important to include. And then we have the applicable standards and guidelines. So here, looking at the web content accessibility guidelines, we have 2.0, 2.1, and 2.2. And what is reflected is that all single A and double A success criteria for 2.0 and 2.1 were included. 2.1 includes 2.0, but here it is just visually written out so you can see that there are both of these standards that are included, both WCAG 2.0 and 2.1 are included in the accessibility table. Next, we have the terms section. So this is just brought forward from the official VPAT documentation. And now we have the accessibility table. So here you get to see AI really at work. And so in the remarks and explanations column, there are intelligent remarks and explanation column summarizing why an issue does not support a given criterion. And so with 1.1.1, we see does not support in the conformance level. And then for remarks and explanations, we have the product does not support this criterion. Multiple instances of non-text content lack appropriate accessible names or alternative text, and so on. And then it even provides an example. So what's important is that you can go through this all and edit any of these remarks and explanations that you would like. For supports, we simply have no issues were identified for this criterion. And then if we scroll down, we can see that there are several criteria that are marked as does not support. And remember, that is because we haven't worked through many of the criteria. As I was showing you earlier, I only marked a few as validated. And so that's what's going to take to reduce these do not supports or does not support. And the does not support here has a nice red label highlighting the does not support. Supports is marked with black around it. And so we just scroll down and we can see here this legal disclaimer. If we wanted to add it, it's there, it's available. Keep in mind, this is the draft. This is not the finalized ACR. What we need to do is review this. And so now I'm going to go ahead and mark as reviewed. And so up comes a window and we can see here ACR acknowledgement, and we have first and last name. You must enter your first and last name, and then you're going to acknowledge and agree to the following statements. And there are several statements. I'm not going to read through them all now, but really this is stating that you've reviewed the VPAT to ensure accuracy and completeness. That is so important. So yes, we have AI here to really accelerate the process, but as we know, as I've just gone over and as one of the bullet points states, AI can make errors and omissions. So it is so important to account for the fact that AI can make mistakes. And so now what I'm going to do, enter in a name, John Smith, and I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge that I acknowledge and agree the following statements. And then so now I'm going to sign and accept. And now we're going to get our ACR. So there was the manual component of this, the manual review. We could have edited the VPAT as filled in if we wanted to, but I didn't for just demonstration purposes. But now what we can do is we can download the Word document, or I'm going to make it public. Once I do, we have public access enabled, and we can go ahead and open this into a new tab. We can also copy the link and share our ACR. And so now that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the link. And so here we see the finalized ACR based on the status of our accessibility audit report inside of AccessibilityTracker. And so we've just got a nice clean HTML version of the VPAT, and it's all filled in and completed. We've reviewed it. Everything's good to go. And I'm just going through. We can see the accessibility table. We can see the conformance level and terms. And yeah, we've got everything here that we reviewed. And so it's all here. You can share it with a link easily. You can also download the Word version if you'd like. And I can't show you that now because that would open up a new window. And right now I'm recording just the browser. But this is the HTML version of your VPAT, and it's all here. And this is available inside of AccessibilityTracker. You don't need an accessible.org audit report. You can use any audit report that you'd like. And so this is a major breakthrough I don't really think is available in the marketplace. I haven't seen any other demos. There are other automatically generated VPATs, but I think that some of them are generated from scan results. Of course, we do not want that. That would not be an ACR that we give to anybody, a procurement agent, for example. But this is it. It's right here. It's available. We are continually working on this. So this is the first version, but it's here. It works. This is tangible. I've just taken you step by step through everything. The AI VPAT generation is only available if you have a paid plan with AccessibilityTracker. There's so much more to come, but this is the announcement video. AI VPATs are here. Now you can fill in your VPAT using AI. And so you can get started at accessibilitytracker.com. I will include a link and more details and updates in the description.